So, hi everyone.
Hey, Garvit.
Hello, hello.
Hey,
Hi.
hello everyone.
Yeah,
How are you?
everybody can hear me, right?
Yeah, all good.
Yes.
So, I'll be quick with what we are going to cover in this stand up, which is stand up 5. As we had already discussed in the last stand up, that we are going to play planning poker for the identified user stories of our project. Uh, Also, we'll be covering the stakeholder management part where we'll be detailing what exactly we have done in our stakeholder management. That is providing an overall strategy of how we are going to manage stakeholders and what all we have covered under that. So, I'll not take much time in that. So, for planning poker, I guess Abhay will be giving us a brief idea of an example of what we did in the planning poker process. So Abhay, can you go ahead with that?
Yeah, I thank you. So with the poker, what we all decided with that we're gonna give the marks to each one of us at the very same time and individually scoring so that none of our decisions make an influence on any other's decision. And we have mentioned all the ground rules that we have used in our planning poker process in our report as well. And we have followed the same rules throughout the planning poker strategies in our project.
Yeah, thank you, Abhay.
Yeah.
So the rules which Abhay is talking about is are not very uh, generic. We have made it clear that any opinion or any difference of opinion would be dealt with rational, and we would discuss and then play planning poker again, and then decide on the finalized story points. Now, before going to planning poker, it was critical to identify the user stories with respect to the epics and categories we had identified in our user journey mapping process. So I guess for that, Vaibhav or Shubhang, maybe one of you can mention about that because you two were heavily involved in those user identifying user stories.
Yeah. So me and Shivang, we have identified almost about around 80 user stories, and this is regarding with the features, and we have tried to cover all the features that we can provide in the app, and based on the user stories, we have prioritized them, and we have provided the number.
Okay, so thank you, Vaibhav, for that. So the user stories were done by Shubhang and Vaibhav in combination, and planning poker has already been explained by Abhay. So for the stakeholder management part, I would like Priya to give us a brief overview of how it was done, so that even that strategy is clear. Priya, will you go ahead with that?
Yeah, thank you, Garvit. So with the project stakeholder management plan, we followed the process of first identifying the stakeholder, then analyzing those stakeholder, prioritizing them, and then finally engaging stakeholder in a communication plan. So moreover, the stakeholders that we identified is the external and internal stakeholders. The external stakeholder comprised of the admin staff, steering committee, and all of that, and internal is within the internal team. Then we did the stakeholder mapping process in which, in order to prioritize who is managing the project and what are their power and interest as per the project. Then we decided on a stakeholder engagement strategy in order to build the communication plan so as to communicate with the stakeholders, and the team should know how the project has to go in order to achieve the project objectives. So this is all over that we did in the stakeholder management plan.
So thank you, Priya. So I guess that will be it for this particular sprint of what we have done till now. For the next sprint, what we are planning is to complete the resource and budget plan, uh, which can only be done after we have identified the user stories, played planning poker, and assigned the story points to those identified user stories. So the resource and budget plan we will be doing in the coming week, and then also we'll be having our sprint retrospective, which we will be covering in our last sprint itself, and we'll be talking about what went right, what went wrong in the whole process, and what areas we could have improved, and what things we would want to repeat again. So those aspects we will be covering in our sprint retrospective as well. So that's it for this particular sprint. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.